everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk live on YouTube.com. It is Goal MF Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Florio and Dee Dee Woodson. I did send an invite to Michael Bullock. Hopefully, he does arrive with in a few minutes. He does know that we were supposed to start at 9:30 tonight, but it is an honor and privilege as always. And, I do want to thank you guys for being patient. I know you guys were wondering what happened last night. Work commitments beyond my control wouldn't allow me to do the show tonight. So here we are, guys, on a special Wednesday night edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk. Obviously, we're going to talk about Smackdown Live. We're also going to be talking about last week's and tonight's Lucha Underground. I wanted it to start it immediately after. My panel decided, let's hold off an extra 30 minutes. Fair enough, no problemas. We're just gonna dive right in, and we'll start it off Smackdown Live as always on the USA Network from Tampa, Florida, the Amway Arena, the home of the Tampa Bay Lightning, and we started off with a pretty red hot segment. SmackDown #1 contender for the women's title, Becky Lynch, interrupted by the reigning and defending champion, Carmella. And Carmella actually try to, try to show, a little bit of some respect, saying, I respect you, Becky Lynch. You're a great individual. The #1 overall pick. I was the last pick. You're a great competitor of the first ever SmackDown champion. I'm a champion right now, and I wish you nothing but the best. Good luck in the title fight at SummerSlam. Then James Ellsworth music comes out, and you're like, wait a minute, Ellsworth is fired. What the hell is this? Oh no. Carmella shows her true colors, absolutely jumps the #1 contender, looks like she was going to get the big advantage, and then the Queen has returned. Charlotte Flair is back on SmackDown Live to save her best friend, and yes, tea for everybody in the building. This came off really good. I really loved it. This really, really, really could be quite a matchup, to say the very least. I'm thrilled. I'm inspired by the women's title fight at SummerSlam. I'm inspired and very now I would love to see what they do with Evolution now, because obviously the SmackDown women's title will be defended at Evolution. We just don't know who the champion's going in. We don't know who the challenger's gonna be. But dude, this was done beautifully. I mean, for me, I'll openly admit it. Segment of the night. Anthony Florio, it's all yours, my friend.
Well, I'll tell you, MF. I mean, you're absolutely right. It was a very good segment that shined a light on how great Becky Lynch is as a babyface that had to work hard for the opportunities that she got. And then Carmella made her appearance soon after and came out appearing to give a heartfelt promo of her own. You mentioned it. She mentioned a lot of deep stuff of her own, and it came across as a pure babyface promo in her own right. And then Ellsworth's music hit, and then Carmella showed her true colors with the attack, and then the Queen, Charlotte Flair, who saved her friend and took it to Carmella at the same time. And it was then announced that Charlotte would go up against Carmella later in the night. And if Charlotte would get the win, she would be added to that SmackDown Women's Championship match in the SummerSlam, making it a triple threat match. So a lot on the line here. But all I can say here is overall, this was a very good segment that saw two stellar promos, even if one of them wasn't truly heartfelt, and the return of the Queen. So, and I knew about Charlotte coming back in advance because about 2 or 3 weeks ago, she was on. She did some sort of an interview with Maria Menounos, and she said that July 31, I'm going to be coming back. So, I saw that writing on the wall. I knew once I saw that Carmella was going to try to do significant damage to Becky, I'm like, come on, this got to be where Charlotte shows up. And then once you hear the music, I'm like, yep, I knew it, right on cue. So So that's what I knew. So, like I said, an overall very good segment, 2 great promos, and the return of the Queen. So, I mean, this is not the first, this is not the only in ring segment. We had like 3 or 4 of these in the night, and all of them were very good. But I would probably say maybe this one might have been the best one of them all. So, even though all of them were great. So, well done. Great way to start the show. What was a damn good edition of SmackDown Live. High praises from me tonight. So, with all that being said, Didi Woodson, let's get your thoughts on all this.
Yeah, that was a very good segment. I think a lot of us knew Carmella was not being very heartfelt in it. I mean, great speech. Kudos for the pep talk, but you know, I think we all knew before she extended her hand that it was going to be a stab in the back to Becky Lynch. Perfect timing for Charlotte to come back. Great storyline building for not only SummerSlam, but for Evolution that's coming up. I mean, yes, definitely segment of the night. Not much more to say about it. I mean, just rock on segment. So let's go on.
And that was the one thing that I know Dee Whitson was also preaching about, who's going to be the host of our Evolution coverage once we get into October. But she was also talking about how she wanted to see the SmackDown women and vice versa, the Raw women, and try to embrace the Evolution aspect of it. Not just SummerSlam, but Evolution. I think SmackDown is definitely putting the right foot forward as it relates to Evolution. But again, that's in October. We still got some months away before that big event, and we'll get into that a little bit later on in the evening. Now, let's focus on something that was pretty big and pretty significant. Tag team fight. Now, as many of you guys know, a couple of weeks ago, Paige made this big announcement that it was going to be a 3-week tournament, a Final Four. Basically, it was the New Day, Sanity, the Bar, and the Usos, and the winner of this mini tournament would face the Bludgeon Brothers at SummerSlam for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Last week, the New Day advanced to the final that is next week, and this fight between the Usos and the Bar was going to determine who is going to be their opponents for SummerSlam, for that fight next week. So when it was all said and done, the winners of the bout in 13 minutes and 55 seconds, and the team to face the New Day next Tuesday night on SmackDown Live, they don't set the bar, they are the bar. Anthony Florio, it is all yours, my friend.
Fight of the night, MF, right here, without a doubt. 3.5 to 4 stars. Wow, this was a very good match between 2 of the best tag teams in WWE today. And let's be realistic, either team would have been a great choice to advance. But the Bar are one step closer to a potential showdown with the Bludgeon Brothers if they can get past the New Day next week. I mean, these 2 teams have always had great chemistry together. I mean, you remember the last 2 Survivor Series 2016. You remember these 2 teams were the final 2 teams in that Raw versus SmackDown tag team traditional elimination matchup. And it was the Bar who came out on top in 2016 in Toronto. And then last Survivor Series in Houston, these 2 teams met up in a straight up tag team match, Battle of Tag Team Champions. This was back when the Bar were the Raw tag team champions and the Usos were the SmackDown tag team champions. And on that night, it was the Usos who evened the score, much to the delight of MF and all SmackDown brethren. But on this night, it was an opportunity to advance. And like I said, both teams were a great choice to advance. But if I'm going to be honest with you, as great as the Usos are, and they are, I think putting the bar over was the right call. If I'm going to be real honest with you, I mean, the bar, haven't been on TV in a while. I heard they were being international ambassadors, and I think they were, down in Russia with the World Cup or something like that, from what I heard. But I'm glad they're back. I was wondering where they were. I'm like, they were drafted to SmackDown Live. They hadn't been utilized much, which was really bothering me because I can't tell you how high I've been on these two. I mean, maybe not at first. When back when they were on Raw and Mick Foley, randomly put them together after that epic Best of 7 series, including that epic final match. But since Foley put them together, embrace, man. I mean, they've embraced it, and look what they've done. I mean, they've been one of the pillars of the tag team division, and I couldn't be happier for these guys. I mean, it was so hard for me to lose them from Raw during the Superstar shakeup, but now they're finally getting their opportunity on SmackDown Live, and all they got to do is beat the New Day. I mean, they have before. Don't forget another Raw moment. The Roadblock End of the Line pay-per-view, the end of 2016. Who was the team that ended the New Day's epic title run? It was the Bar. Let's not forget that. New Day had held the tag team titles, the WWE and then Raw tag team championships for 483 days, and then the Bar knocked them off at the Roadblock End of the Line event. So the Bar, they've done it before. I think they can do it again. And, we've already seen the Usos against the Bludgeons. I think we've seen the New Day against the Bludgeons. But if I'm going to be real honest with you, I really want to see the Bar go up against the Bludgeons. That would be one hell of a tag team title match in the SummerSlam. So, but I'm sure no matter who comes out of it, whether it's the Bludgeons or the New Day, it's going to be a fine choice. But MF, I know how much you love Be a Man fights in the whole 9 yards. If you want a pure, physical, smash mouth, Be a Man fight, you put the Bar over, you put the Bar against the Bludgeons at SummerSlam for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship, you, my friend, are going to be in for one hell of a Be a Man fight. Believe that. 3.5 to 4 stars, without a doubt, the fight of the night. Well done. Nothing more to say. Didi Woodson, what do you make of all this?
Well, I definitely agree with the rating. It was definitely the fight of the night. It was definitely a very good match, to say the least. Both teams deserve a title shot, but we have had a lot of the Usos and New Day, so this was kind of a nice change of pace to have New Day in the Bar for next week, to see who's going to face the Bludgeons. And I wouldn't mind seeing the Bar go all the way to SummerSlam to face them. But that's just my opinion. But yeah, this was definitely a good match. I'm not going to elaborate too much more. Florio said quite a bit, so I'm going to toss it to you, Fletch.
Craftily done, expertly done, and a change of pace that SmackDown definitely needs. The Bar is definitely one of the top tag teams that came thanks to the Superstar shakeup in Providence on that glorious night. And we all were talking about it. And Anthony alluded to it once. He said it many times. The rich were getting richer, and SmackDown Live hit the gold mine when we grabbed the Bar. And yes, they were not really utilized that much. One issue was, they were the ambassadors, basically for the European tour, and not only that, but they also were relevant by WWE standards for the upcoming FIFA World Cup that was in Russia. But also there was also some talk that there was also some work visa issues. Of course, with Switzerland for Cesaro, and of course Sheamus from Ireland, that there was some work visa issues that was going on, which it was kind of a tongue in cheek. It wasn't as bad as they were claiming it to be, but there was some work visa issues that they needed it to be updated. They got that within no time, and thus they were able to return and come back to the United States just in the nick of time for this tournament. Paige made the decision to add him into the tournament, and we saw the results on that, ladies and gentlemen. So definitely great match. 3.5 stars is my rating for the fight. And yes, it is the fight of the night. All right. Next up we had was a promo cut by Samoa Joe. And boys, they went in. Samoa Joe went straight up savage. Oh my God. Can I say it? Like Anthony would say it, and he knows he loves when I say this. Samoa Joe, you went there. Oh, did you go there? You went straight into the teeth of AJ Styles. You brought up his family, which is a major no. Oh my goodness, Dee Woodson. Wow, that's all I can say. It's all yours, my love.
Definitely a hot promo. Definitely storyline based. Very good. But yeah, he went there. He hit home. And, that's one thing you don't do is you don't go after a man's family because, that's going to take it about 4 or 5 stages higher than what it would to begin with. So, this is definitely going to be one very heated match, which we already pretty much kind of knew because at least the three of us here have seen these two in action on TNA and other form of outlets, other promotions. These guys, they're going to take it, to that extreme level. And, I think we're all pretty much expecting this match when we get to SummerSlam to be, one of the biggest. So, there's not much more I'm going to say about it because I know you guys got a lot to say on it. So I toss it back to you, Fletch.
Whoa, Nelly. In the immortal words of the late Keith Jackson, my goodness, Samoa Joe, what got into you? It's one thing to talk about the family, but he went after the daughter, man. He went way too personal on this one. You know what? There's the fire, there's the intensity. This is what we expected back in the day of TNA or Impact Wrestling, whatever you want to call it now. But this got so good and so hard. Like, I'm ready for SummerSlam. WWE, shut up and take my money. I'm ready for the hottest night of the summer at the Barclays just to see this fight alone for the WWE Championship. Yeah, this was unbelievable. What a show. What a match. This is going to be awesome, man. Nothing more to say. Anthony Florio, go.
Yeah, he went there all right. Samoa Joe is the best and continues to kill it on the mic. I mean, his cadence, delivery, and content, they're always on point. I mean, boy, howdy. I mean, you said it right, MF. I mean, whoa, Nelly, indeed. And I just want to say this. You need to see this promo, my friends. You really do. Joe is one of the best on the mic, and his intensity here was brilliant. He is as talented as he is contemptible as a character. And yeah, SmackDown Live in the past has been known to go there, and they did it once again here with Joe going at, bringing up AJ's wife and the kids and all that. Yeah, you certainly don't do that. That's definitely going to light a fire under the Phenomenal One, and we'll see what happens next week in Orlando when the Phenomenal One will be on the show. He'll be on next week, and I don't know if it'll be a match. I'm guessing we'll probably get a promo segment from him, a rebuttal from him, and in the whole 9 yards. So, but Joe, I mean, yes, Didi mentioned it. I mean, their matches in TNA were off the charts, and including the unbreakable three-way with Daniels, which to this day is still the greatest TNA match of all time, 13 years later. So, yeah, really nothing more to say on this. I think we touched on all the bullet points. Another one of the segments of the night. I told you we had several in-ring segments. Each and every one of them were good. We just don't know how to rank them. I mean, that opening segment with the ladies was great. This was great. And we've got another in-ring segment coming up that was just as good here. So, MF, let's set the table for that.
Hey, it was Jeff Hardy. He made his entrance. It said that he wanted a piece of Randy Orton. He wanted to fight Orton. Well, as Randy Orton made his way to the ring, the United States Heavyweight Champion Shinsuke Nakamura jumps in, and he jumps Jeff Hardy with a Kinshasa, and then Orton basically went in on everything. I mean, oh my God. Is Randy Orton and Shinsuke Nakamura working together as a team? Whoa. What's this about? Well, I would like this. Nakamura's a good heel. Randy Orton, well, we already know how awesome a heel he is. Could this be a tag team power team that could be of the likes of Stone Cold Steve Austin and Triple H back in the Attitude Era, the two-man power trip? Could that be possibly what we're looking at here? Well, I guess we'll find out. Anthony Florio, another great segment. It's yours.
Not just another great segment, MF, but I'm going to go on the record right now. One of the greatest heel segments I've seen this year. I love how Randy Orton will not hit the RKO, so he gets even more boos from the fans as he is making great use of the elevated DDT, or as you and I would call it, MF, during our commentary days, the Viper DDT. This was another uncomfortable beatdown, with the dynamic between Randy Orton and Shinsuke Nakamura adding another layer to his heel run. Two quick questions here. Is Shinsuke Nakamura the new Bray Wyatt for Randy Orton? Except, is Randy Orton the master this time? Think about that. I mean, if you put Orton and Nakamura as a heel tag team, oh my goodness. I mean, we're looking at future SmackDown tag team champions in the near future, without a doubt. I mean, those two, oh my goodness. That's all I can say on that. That's scary to think about. I mean, the two of them as baby faces were one thing, but the two of them as sinister heels, oof. I'm going to take another quote from you, MF. Lordy. That's all I can say on that. So, like I said, one of the greatest heel segments I've seen this year. I mean, wow. That's all I can say on that. And don't be surprised if in the SummerSlam we get that rumored triple threat for the U.S. title with Nakamura or Hardy and Orton, which should be, and if we do, we're looking at another potential show stealer for SmackDown Live. So that's really all I can say on that. Didi Woodson, oh, how do you follow that? My goodness. Didi Woodson, are you there? I don't know, MF. I think we might have lost Didi for a moment.
Didi, are you here? Are you there, love?
I just came back. I'm sorry. I had to make a pit stop.
Oh, okay. No. All right. No problem. We were talking about the Randy Orton, Shinsuke Nakamura, Jeff Hardy segment.
See, I thought I'd have a little bit more time, so that's why I thought, okay, I just let off the last segment. I can run real quick. No, didn't have enough time. Okay. It was a good segment. I like the fact, that they're keeping this fresh on our mind, and Orton's attacks are very vicious, and I mean it's pretty much kind of showing this the heavy Viper side, the very evil side of Orton, and I guess we're to that point that we really need like a supervillain. So that's kind of what they're making Orton in this picture. And um, with as many times as he's taken Hardy down, you've got to think that they're either getting ready to send him out because of all the injuries he's got and everything, or they're getting ready to, set it up where you have the wrestling 101 where the one that's always down is the one who ends up winning. So we're right on that borderline here. I'm leaning more to they're probably going to take him out so he can heal and everything and then come back. I did find it kind of odd that Orton stopped Shinsuke from that Kinshasa. I guess is how you say it. I don't say that very well, so
No, you
excuse
said
it.
it right, Kinshasa. You said it right.
Okay. I don't usually say it. I kind of avoid that because I'm not real good with some of those technical names they've got for some of their moves. But I was a little surprised he blocked him from doing that. But at the same time, I think he wanted to focus just on the fact that he wants to be the one to take out Jeff Hardy. He doesn't want anyone else to do it. So we'll just have to kind of wait and see what's going to happen here as this plays out. So I'll toss it back to you now.
All right, and now we're going to have a one-on-one match as it was the ravishing Russian Lana going one-on-one with Zelina Vega. Oh my goodness. All right. Unfortunately, Anthony, I know this was the worst fight of the night by default because, like you said, promo heavy show. But Zelina Vega and Lana in the center of the ring 1-on-1. Come on, man. This warms a brother's heart, man. I think we were both kind of falling all over each other on this one.
Of course. I mean, my love for Lana, and of course, your well documented love for Zelina Vega. I mean, this was in a sense a buddy bowl here, and your girl came out on top. MF. I mean, much to your delight, Zelina picked up the win. Yeah, it was the worst fight of the night, but this is one of those rare times where we could say default worst fight of the night. I mean, this was not bad at all. I would say sleeper fight of the night, if I'm going to be real honest with you. I mean, I'm leaning towards 2 to 2.5 stars. As Corey Graves said on commentary, Lana continues to improve by leaps in the ring, and this was a very good match. And it also adds some more Rusev Day drama due to Aiden English's latest failed help. And notice Lana channeled her inner Booker T and did a some sort of a spinneroonie little deal there. So, wow, that was awesome to say the least. And yeah, but of course, Zelina wasn't alone. Of course, she had El Idolo, Andrade Cien Almas, but Lana was alone. She didn't have Rusev or Aiden English, and of course, the Rusev Day drama continues. It was a backstage moment, and Lana's like, "Yeah, where were you, Rusev? I could have used you out there." Yeah, so we'll definitely keep an eye on the latest Rusev Day drama, but nonetheless, yes, worst fight of the night, but not exactly. But this was not exactly a ho-hum diva fight. I mean, going into it, you would think it would be a ho-hum diva fight, considering that these are two of the weaker workers on the card. They're nowhere near the calibers of a Charlotte Flair or a Becky Lynch or a Naomi or any of those gals, Asuka, the whole 9 yards. But for what I saw, they pleasantly surprised me. So 2 to 2.5 stars, the pleasant surprise of the night for me. Nothing more to say there. So nice first win for Zelina Vega, and let's see where it leads going forward. So great win for the former Rosita from TNA. So nothing more to say. Didi Woodson, your thoughts on this women's match? Not as bad as we thought going in.
No, it's not as bad as we thought. And, you really can't call any of these matches the worst fight of the night. I mean, yeah, it would hit the low end of the totem pole, but it's not really the I wouldn't say it would be the worst fight of the night. I mean, we had the worst fight of the night contenders over on Raw. This is 10 times better, even though it was low, than some of those no ratings that we had on Raw. So yeah, I'm gonna go with 2 stars. It was a good showing for both ladies. Even though this was Vega's first time in WWE in the ring, but we all know she does have a good wrestling background. No, it's not as strong as the top stars, but it's still a good strong base. Lana, she's working hard. She's getting there. She's not quite there yet, but at least now you can say she does have some moves. She does have at least a little bit of talent starting to show. And yeah, this continues the drama with the little triangle we have here of Lana, English, and Rusev. The backstage segment definitely kind of goes along with the match. Lana saying that she would have rather had Rusev out there with her and not having English jump in the way he did. So I do think here before long we may end up having some sort of a match or something to completely sever English from Rusev and Lana. Not too sure what's going to lead there, but we certainly have some sort of a storyline building just within that little triangle there. But even more so with the couples here of Lana and Rusev and Vega and Amos. So we'll just have to see what happens here, how it plays out. And, maybe this might be something we may see on the pre-show coming up. There's no telling what, we still have a couple of weeks left or so before it happens. So we'll see what happens. So yeah, Fletch, it's yours.
The next thing we had was a segment between Daniel Bryan and The Miz. And oh man, here we go again. Another powerful segment, another explosive segment, to say the very least. I believe Dee Woodson, you lead off on this.
I don't know who leads off on it, but I'll take it first down. This was another very strong segment between Daniel and Miz, and definitely you can see that even with all that time frame we had where they were focusing Bryan on other things and him being out as GM and everything, this that started back with NXT and just kept building and building and building is still building and building and building. And just like nothing has, there's not been a lag between it. They just keep going. And, Miz even brought up that NXT time where he was Daniel's trainer during that show and everything. So, I mean, it's just, it's definitely got the backbone. We're progressing more and more into SummerSlam. This match is pretty much, I think it's going to happen. I don't think we're going to have anything that's going to keep it from happening. Whether they put it on SummerSlam or not, I'm not sure. They could keep building this and put it on another pay-per-view. I don't know, but I have a feeling it'll probably end up being on SummerSlam. The only part I got annoyed with was all the babies that Miz put on there on the screen. Right now I have my 2 granddaughters living with me, and I hear a lot of crying right now, so that was kind of annoying to a point. So, yeah, that would be probably the only low point to the whole segment. But other than that, I mean, it was great back and forth, great, just great build up here. So I'm not going to say too much more about it. You guys take it first, man.
All right, you're absolutely right, Didi Woodson. This was amazing. This was as powerful as you can get. And the thing is that they throw everything, all the caution to the wind. That's everything that you wanted it to know about this war, about this battle. It has to happen. It's evident. It's apparent now. It will happen. There's really nothing more for all of us to say. This is going to be the biggest fight, one of the biggest matches, the most highly anticipated matches of the entire SummerSlam card, because this has been about literally 4 years in the making. To see The Miz and Daniel Bryan go at it. A lot of people were really worried when Daniel was forced to retire that we would never see this fight. But once the announcement came back, when Daniel made that epic, powerful speech on Smackdown Live not too long ago, saying that he was back, that he was a full ring WWE competitor again, that everybody started talking about this particular fight. Yes, it was other matches that people wanted it to see Daniel Bryan go in, but this was the marquee fight that everybody wanted it to see. They were starting to talk about this possibly as early as WrestleMania, that they wanted this battle, but we're getting it possibly at the hottest night of the summer. We should be getting this at the hottest night of the summer at SummerSlam at the Barclays in New York. They've done so much more. You're thinking the bar is set so high that there's no way that they can top it. But week after week after week, Daniel Bryan and The Miz are topping themselves. Now the only question that pretty much is now all in the line from here on in is about what are they going to do with the match? Can the match live up to the hype that they've been putting it on? And that's really it. There's really nothing more than that to say. So, with that said, Anthony Florio, it's all yours.
The A-lister versus the S-man is the feud that the WWE needs, and it looks like this feud will come to head at the biggest party of the summer in the SummerSlam. I mean, it appears as if this match is a foregone conclusion, but in terms of just last night's segment, it was very good and helped further the on-screen beef between these two proud superstars. I mean, it was another good segment between these two. Bryan got some good shots in there, but how can anyone hang with The Miz right now? He is on another level. I keep saying it right now. He is the best heel in WWE today, and last night, he took that to another level. So yeah, I mean, came out very well. I mean, I wish Bullock was here because I know Bullock would have absolutely gone off on this. I mean, he Facebook messaged me last night and, dropped a lot of bombs in there, calling out The Miz and the whole 9 yards. I mean, if Bullock was here, he probably would have gone on one of his epic Phenom rants if I know him. But, unfortunately, he's not here, so it probably won't be. But, it is what it is. So, a man alive, if he were here, he would have gone off on that big time. He would have. But nonetheless, we all touched on everything. MF nailed it. I mean, add this to SummerSlam, and let's be realistic, SmackDown Live is going to have another show-stealing match. I mean, you've already got AJ Styles against Samoa Joe, and who knows? I mean, there could be a lot more coming. And you add Bryan and Miz to AJ and Joe on SmackDown Live, you got two potential show stealers. Just like last year when Raw had those two show-stealing matches with that Universal 4-Way and the Shield reuniting Rollins and Ambrose against the Bar. We all know those two matches alone stole the show last year. So I think they're trying to give SmackDown Live two show-stealing matches just like Raw had last year. So add this to it. You add this match along with AJ and Joe, MF, you've got two potential classics on your hand. So Oh boy, that makes this Raw guy worry a lot. So nothing more to say on it. Another phenomenal segment of the night here. Another great segment here. So, looking down on our notes here, MF, is it main event time or not?
Yep, it's the main event. Smackdown Live Women's Champion Carmella goes one-on-one with Charlotte Flair. If Charlotte wins, she gets added to the championship fight and it becomes a triple threat. If she loses, then it's just one-on-one. Becky Lynch versus Charlotte for the title. Becky Lynch versus Carmella for the title. The winner of the bout in 11 minutes and 49 seconds via submission. Charlotte Flair wins. She's going to SummerSlam. We got ourselves a triple threat for the SmackDown Women's title. Figure 8 for the win. Great match. Solid main event. Good way to close the show. And as much as you can see it in the look. Yes, Charlotte is excited. Charlotte is thrilled over the moon. Becky Lynch, not so much. She now knows. My odds just went from 50% to now 33.33%. Not a good situation for the besties, man. Could we have a possible implosion on the SmackDown side of the Four Horsewomen? I think so. This might turn ugly, guys. But this was a great match. Charlotte looked great. Carmella, solid performance in the losing effort. But now the question becomes, what happens next? With the title on the line, now it's a triple threat. All bets are off. But this also gives an opening for Carmella because now she doesn't necessarily have to beat Becky Lynch. If she beats Charlotte Flair, which she already has in the past, now granted, if it was, because of Ellsworth, whatever, but if she pins Charlotte, she's still the champion, but vice versa. The worst thing for Carmella is she could lose the title without being pinned or submitted. The worst thing about the champion's advantage is now out of play because she could be pinned or submitted. She could easily lose the belt. So, good match, solid fight. I like it. Anthony Florio, it's all yours.
What would you rate that fight, MF?
I gotta give this a solid 3 stars. I thought this was a good match. Not fight on the night level, but at least a solid fight.
Yeah, I was leaning more towards 2.5 to 3 myself. I mean, I probably would say the second best fight of the night on my end. Solid match that saw the Queen get one step closer to gaining back her throne. The SmackDown Women's Championship picture is really heating up heading into the SummerSlam. And yeah, I mean, Carmella's overzealousness ended up dooming her, and her attempt at locking in the figure 4 on Charlotte was countered into the figure 8 that did her in. And Charlotte will be in this championship match in the SummerSlam, and apparently it is much to the chagrin of the Irish last kicker, who watched nervously backstage, knowing her odds of winning would decrease if Charlotte won, which she did. And I mean, it was a better match between these two and a solid way to close out a very good SmackDown Live. Now it's time to see how Becky really feels about all this. So that's all we can say on that. I mean, yes, Carmella unquestionably is the weak link going into this championship match. You got 2 proven workers in Charlotte and Becky. And I mean, Charlotte and Becky alone, that would have given SmackDown Live another show stealer. Carmella being in there diminishes it just a smidge, but we'll see. We'll see. You never know. So 2.5 to 3, I would have to say second best fight of the night on my end. So leads to a very interesting situation now that we have this 3-way. So like I said, we just gotta wait and see how Becky feels about all of it, how she really feels about all of it. I could definitely see an implosion, like the Raw version of the Raw's four horsewomen, Bailey and Sasha. But look what's going on with them. So we'll see. So nothing more to say. 2.5 to 3, second best fight of the night. Looking forward to this. So Didi Woodson, what do you make of all this?
Yeah, I could go with 3 on this. This was a very good match. And yeah, we now have a triple threat. And no, Becky isn't happy about it. But, it is what it is. Charlotte proved that Carmella's claim on beating her twice that's all it is. It's just a claim. Because Carmella couldn't do it for a third time. And Charlotte was, as strong as she was even before she took the time off, and nothing holding her back, nothing showing that there was any kind of ring rust or anything from her being out. Which it wasn't that long that she was out, but it was long enough that her coming out tonight was that much more of a special thing. But yeah, this would be out of the 3 matches, this definitely is the second best fight of the night. And so not much more I had to say about it. Definitely a good way to end SmackDown and a good storyline building ending. So not much more I have to say about it. Fletch, take it home.
All right, it's time for the overall review. Anthony Florio, you lead off.
I said high praises were coming, and I'm gonna give you those high praises right now. 9 to 9.5 out of 10. Damn good show, without a doubt. I mean, here you go. You want to know why? I'll tell you why. Every week on my show, Ridiculously Raw, just about every week we keep talking about how Raw is a chore to get through, and that we have to look for the good in the show. Which, let's be realistic, there's hardly anything on it, hardly any good on that. But thankfully, SmackDown Live has been the complete opposite. It delivered a damn good show, another damn good show. Yes, it was light on wrestling overall this week, but it was a completely focused show. The opening segment continued Becky and Carmella and reintroduced Charlotte. The tag title match was amazing, was damn good, and continued the build to the SummerSlam tag title match. Samoa Joe's promo was great, adding to the build for him and AJ. The Orton, Hardy, Nakamura angle, just as great. They're likely working towards a U.S. title triple threat. Zelina Vega and Lana, yes, it was the worst fight of the night, and it also continued the Rusev Day drama. The Daniel Bryan and Miz segment was good and heated, and the main event match was solid, and it locked in another SummerSlam match. What really paid it forward for me this week, why I'm giving it such the high praise. I mean, nothing on this show sucked. Nothing. Like I said, the only really low point, even though it was really not that low, was the Zelina and Lana match. But other than that, I mean, we didn't have any unnecessary filler. We didn't have any funny ha-ha nonsense. No campy comedy, bull-funky, gobbledygook nonsense that we get week in and week out on Raw. I mean, Derek Ferreira, found this funny meme on the other day. He showed what Monday Night Raw was like in the 90s, with Stone Cold with his little salute, Sable parading around, D-Generation X raising hell. And he said Monday Night Raw nowadays is a lot like Sesame Street. And let's be realistic. I think Monday Night Raw is a lot like Sesame Street nowadays. And that's why SmackDown Live is continuing each and every week to whoop Raw on the ratings. And, well, our personal ratings, that is. And I just heard that the rating for this show last night was the highest rated SmackDown since May. So there's more encouraging news for you, MF. I mean, it was the best SmackDown rating since the month of May. I mean, that's saying something. So, but yes, I mean, storyline progression was at an absolute high. They advanced everything perfectly. I mean, If the Zelina and Lana match had been a little bit better, then I would have been talking a perfect 10 out of 10. Because that's how damn good the show was last night. But because of that, I would say 9, 9.5. That's the only really downside. But other than that, everything was great. All 3 matches delivered in one way or another. All the in-ring segments were very good. I mean, nothing on this show sucked. So 9 to 9.5 out of 10. If I'm overrating it, I don't give a damn. That was one of the best SmackDown Lives of 2018, and they are continuing to be, in my opinion, the real A show in WWE today. Unlike that show on Monday night that's turned into friggin' Sesame Street for Christ's sake. So nothing more to say on that. So 9 to 9.5 out of 10. Didi Woodson, that was a damn good show last night. Wow, that was really good.
It was a very good show. I'll go with the 9 to 9.5. I think it was a very, very good show. Most of it, yes, very storyline building, very much pushing the pay-per-view, and definitely giving us, what we've all been asking for on Raw. I know you call it more Sesame Street-like. I call it a 3-ring circus where you lose control of everything, and you're trying to sit here and just try to keep up with whatever they throw at you. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's junk. I mean, yeah, I don't like poo-pooing on Raw, but right now they need to get their heads out of their butts and really come down and give us some quality stuff. Yeah, I think I'll agree with that meme. Monday Night Raw in the 90s, Monday Night Raw now. Yeah, I'll go with that. Yeah, it was definitely a great show last night. Very happy with how it came out. Yeah, it was more in-ring backstage stuff than matches, but it was quality. It was storyline. It was, everything that, the internet darlings want to see and hear and everything. So yeah, I'd say that we really got what we were wanting out of this. Great bookend with Charlotte, Carmella, from the beginning of the show to the end of the show. And yeah, even though, we're building for SummerSlam, I mean, you can say that just with these 3 alone, you're also building towards October because they keep bringing it up. I mean, they're talking about Becky wanting to be the title holder when we go into that pay-per-view. And I guarantee you that's the talk we're going to be hearing from now all the way up to it. And, hey, I'm all gung-ho for whoever they have do it. Because we all know I'm not a fan of Carmella, and I would be happy to see her and Little Miss Bliss lose their titles before the pay-per-view. Whether it happens or not, we have to watch these pay-per-views that's leading all the way up to October. And, with the way they're building this show, I'm praying SummerSlam comes out better than these other pay-per-views we've had, because these matches, they're building them very strong. They're building them to where, Fletch says, WWE, take my money. He says that when he's excited about a match. And, I mean, that's what they're giving us. So they better fulfill that end when we get to the pay-per-view, because these pay-per-views lately have been going down to the level where Raw is, where SmackDown alone is going up. So let's turn the pay-per-view around. Let's have it go up with SmackDown, and maybe some of this will rub off on Raw, and we'll get rid of some of these crappy things they have, like the Constable and the some of this other crap they've got. I mean, there's just too much stupidity over there because the writers don't know what the heck they're doing or what they want to do with anybody compared to what they got on SmackDown. So let's keep going SmackDown, keep making it something to look forward to, making it a light for the week, and not much more I'm going to say about it. I'm going to head out because I've got more babysitting to do tomorrow for the granddaughters. So I will see you next week for Raw.
All right, very well. All right, very well, Dee Dee. Thank you very much as always. Good night, my love. I agree with guys. 9 to 9.5 out of 10. SmackDown Live. I feel like a proud father right now. I feel like a proud papa right now. You guys have been I feel so good about wearing the team blue colors each and every week to do this show because you guys give me so much good content to work with, and I can't thank you guys enough, man. You guys have blessed me on so many ways, and I'm not a sentimental guy. I'm not a religious guy. Everybody knows that. But I feel proud. I feel proud of the SmackDown banner that I get to wave each and every week and to do what I'm doing. It's awesome. It's incredible. It's awesome. It's thrilling. It's everything I want it to be and then some. So it's awesome. So 9 to 9.5 out of 10. Let's get into Lucha Underground and let's do it right here, right now. We started it off with Jake Strong going one-on-one with Sammy Kavari. Jake Strong wins the match. Pretty easy match, standard fight, one-on-one. So we move on. Next thing we had was the Monster Matanza Cueto versus Vinny Massaro. Basically, it was another sacrifice to the gods. Matanza Cueto destroys them, and thus, yes, he gives them that opportunity, sends them right in there. Nothing more to say. So we move on. Next fight we had was a trios qualifying match for the Gift of the Gods title. It was Dragon Azteca Jr., King Cuerno, and Desmond X versus Eva Elise, the Mac and Son of Havoc. The winners of the match was El Dragon Azteca Jr., King Cuerno, and Desmond X. And what happens here is that because they won this match, now they had to fight a second time, but this time the Gift of the Gods title was on the line. So this is it. Whoever wins this fight gets the Gift of the Gods. And that fight is King Cuerno, Dragon Azteca Jr., and Desmond X. And when it's all said and done, the winner of the bout and the Lucha Underground Gift of the Gods champion, El Dragon Azteca Jr. wins the title. He wins the match. He's the champion. And it's like the Money in the Bank. It is the golden ticket. Now he gets to challenge for the title. He gets to put that on the line anytime, any place, anywhere. He has already, well, I'll get into the next part because the next part pretty much tells you everything you need to know. Basically, we started off with a match, Draga versus PJ Black. And when it was all said and done, Draga wins the match for the Reptile Tribe, beating one of the members of the Worldwide Underground. Solid fight, good match. Nothing to say about that. Next thing we had was a 6-man tag team fight for the Trios Championship. Killshot, The Mac, and Son of Havoc versus the members of the Rabbit Tribe, Salador, Paul London, and Malisura. When it was all said and done, the winners of the bout, and still the Lucha Underground Trios champion, Son of Havoc, Killshot, and the Mac. And then in our main event of the evening, it was a 2-on-1 handicap match. The Machine, known as Cage, who's oddly enough the Impact Wrestling X Division champion, and King Cuerno. They go up against the Lucha Underground champion himself, Pentagon Dark, and Cage, and King Cuerno wins the match. That's it for Lucha Underground. Next week on the show, Mariposa makes a proposal to Antonio Cuerto. Paul London offers himself to the gods on the behalf of the White Tribe, and this is going to be a pretty much an interesting matchup. The Worldwide Underground takes on the Reptile Tribe in an Meticos match. However, here's the kicker. If the Reptile Tribe wins the fight, Johnny Mundo must join the Reptile Tribe. Oh my, this could be a game changer. The leader of the Worldwide Underground, could he be showing new stripes next week? We'll find out. All right, guys, so that's it for the Cerebral Smack Talk. We are done for the evening. Anthony Floyo, come on in, my friend. Why don't you give us a rundown on what's going down on Strictly Sports on Friday night?
Well, MF, we it's basically going to be like almost a carbon copy of last week. I mean, it's pretty much going to be all about hot stove stuff. I mean, we're not going to be talking about any NFL hot stove stuff. It's going to be NBA and Major League Baseball hot stove stuff. Kevin Love re-signing with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Vince Carter signing with the Atlanta Hawks. Bad news for Yankee fans, including myself. The Judge, Aaron Judge, is going to be out for 3 weeks after he got hit by a pitch against the Kansas City Royals about a week ago. And then we have a big double main event, both in the world of Major League Baseball. The trade deadline. Trade deadline has come and gone. A lot of big name moves. We'll run down as much of it as we can. And then, of course, we'll close it out, as always, with the Major League Baseball Power Rankings. So that's pretty much it for Strictly Sports on Friday night, 10:30 on my channel, the Tone 25, on YouTube.com. And then, of course, we'll go through it all. We'll go through the motions again next week. Ridiculously Raw, Cerebral Smack Talk, Strictly Sports, and the whole 9 yards as we continue on the road to SummerSlam. And, of course, don't forget NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 4. Two very exciting events coming up. So can't wait to bring it all to you. And then don't forget, within the next month or so, our football shows are going to be back. So get ready, folks. Exciting things coming for all of you great fans, not just of the Wrestling Forum, but Strictly Sports as well. So keep it tuned to our family of networks, right here on Brace Fan 95 with MF, and of course, that's Home 25 with me. So that's pretty much all of it. I just wanted to get that off my chest. So we'll see you Friday night, 10:30 for Strictly Sports, Tone 25, YouTube.com. Hopefully Bullock will be with us. So nothing more to say. MF, let's take it home.
I want to say thank you to all the great fans for making the show as amazing as it is. Like the video, leave a comment at the bottom, share it with all your friends on all social media platforms, and we will see you guys on Friday night, 10:30 Eastern, for Strictly Sports. So, for D.D. Woodson, for Anthony Florio, I'm Michael Fletcher. Have a good night, everybody, and so long for now. Until then, Cerebral Smack Talk, we are